We talk a lot about data products, dashboards, pipelines, warehouses, lakehouses, but no one ever stops to ask the simplest, most human question. What does using data actually feel like? Because for most people inside businesses, the honest answer is slow, confusing, frustrating, and often abandoned. Today, we're going to explore why data must evolve from being a product to becoming an experience with Cameron Price, the founder of Data Tiles.
For years, technology teams told business domains, you need to own your own data, you need to steward it, you need to treat it like a product. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most business teams don't want to own something they didn't build, and they certainly don't want to own something that feels painful to use. We gave them products. What we forgot to do was give them an experience.
The concept of data as a product was a big step forward, but it was only half the journey. A beautifully documented, perfectly governed data product is useless if discovering it, understanding it, or using it feels like filing your tax return. The business doesn't feel value through documentation or lineage graphs. They feel value through clarity, confidence, and speed.
So think about it. Humans don't learn from tables or schemas. We learn through conversation, through asking a question, getting an answer, and asking another question. We have done that since the dawn of time. That's why generative AI exploded. It matched the natural way people think. The problem is the industry never made data feel like that. They made it feel like a maze, complex and difficult to navigate.
Here's the traditional data experience at most companies. Open a BI tool. Navigate someone else's dashboards. Pray the metric definitions still match reality. Realize your question isn't answered anywhere. Log a ticket. Wait days or weeks. Get a partial answer. Ask for a revision. Wait again. Give up and export to Excel. This isn't an experience. It's a slog. No wonder 63% of business users abandon data tools. Not because the data is bad, but because the experience is.
If we want businesses to actually use data, we need an experience that feels like a modern digital product. You ask a question in plain language, the system understands your role, you click a metric and instantly see what it means. Data meets you where you already work, and AI becomes a mediator between curiosity and answers. This is what we're seeing in the rebirth of data, not as a warehouse, not as a dashboard, but as a true user experience.
And this shift from product to experience is exactly what Lattice was built for, a place where semantics become human, where business meaning is unified, where questions flow naturally, where AI interprets, guides, and removes complexity, where insight discovery feels like exploration, not extraction. Experience becomes the new semantic layer, and the interface is no longer SQL or dashboards or tickets. It's simply ask, explore, decide.
No matter how modern your pipelines or tools are, if the business can't experience data effortlessly, you haven't crafted value. Value happens when someone feels clarity, confidence, insight, and momentum. That's why the future just isn't data as a product, it's data as an experience.
Experience data differently. Your data conversation starts here. Lattice.com.